Welcome to the space where creators have aligned a positive and intellectual collab of open minds. We're sharing and learning from one another, it's a vibe. ReadswithRosa podcast on the mic. Subscribe, educator spitting bars. I guess you didn't know I'm multifaceted and humble, checking off life goals. The classroom is my comfort zone where I plant and sow seeds of knowledge, compassion, empathy, and hope. Reading is the key to unlocking your potential. Countless benefits including cognitive and mental. Regardless of the genre, books are highly influential. Go get yours, I'll get mine. Making strides, monumental. Come rock with me and get down to this new jam. With my friends, I had a very simple plan. Educate the masses through books and life lessons. It's the grand slam. I'm out. Tala for lava and welcome to the ReadswithRosa podcast. If you can't tell already, fam, I am really excited to introduce today's guest. He is a father, a musician, a bilingual Sāmoan hip-hop artist and songwriter. In December 2023, he returned with the song Le'ai Sepanga in collaboration with award-winning South Auckland producer Anonymouz. Our guest has also featured in the Mana Moana 2023 COP28 project, They Taking Pictures of Us in the Water, a collaboration featuring Mana Moana Pacifica voices. It is my honor to welcome to the show the brother Jerry Seve, aka Snare. Woohoo! How are you, bro? Yay! It's good to see you, bro. How are you doing?
It's good to see you too, sis. Thank you for having me on here.
Before we get into our talanoa, I like to ask guests just to give us a brief introduction. You know, like shout out your villages, your community. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, yeah. So for Manguia, lo fionga, lo le good foi. So for Manguia, man lang ma. Lo fa good pa ia malu ka ko ngu Sāmoan. I ko langa fa lupe, malo so for malo ka waka. Tai love sis. Thanks for having me here. I'm very blessed and grateful that I get to catch up whenever. Yeah, Roingo Jerry Seve, also known as Snare. And my dad comes from Sāwhoko in Sava'i, and our lady comes from Salemo. I'm currently staying here in South Auckland, Papakura, and yeah, that's me.
Well, there we are, fam. If you're watching, if you're related to Jerry, if you're related to Snare, I hope you share this out. Let's get a story out there. I'm excited. I'm excited to chat with you today, bro. Man, I don't know. Where should we start? I guess I do have a lot of questions. You would have seen. I do tend to over prepare, bro. I do go a bit too far.
That's one thing.
You know,
That's one thing I like to hear. Thinking of your brother, I was like, man, I like that she does her interviews and she does her homework, man.
yeah.
Usually like the questions are like,
I appreciate it. I'm still learning, you know, always trying to be better, like always stressed about this kind of stuff. But you know, like yeah, I'm excited to be able to share your journey. You know, not just as a family man, but also just as an artist. You know, I think it's important to bring people like yourself on the show because these are stories that we do not always get to hear. You know, on certain platforms. So yeah, like I said, it's such an honor to have you here. You know, I was wondering because for every artist or for every musician, for every songwriter, there's always that starting point, right? And I was wondering for you, like, what are your first memories of music in your home? Was it like, where did you first like, oh, maybe it was church. I don't know. Maybe it was in the community. What are your first memories of music?
I think like the majority of a lot of Pacific musician was from church. It was yeah, I remember my young days. I just something about the music at church that was always capturing me and bringing it home as well, and then being interested in at school with it. But yeah, I remember at a young age just always watching the church band play. Got up to the point where I just started. I was like probably 10 or something, or 11, 12, just always helping the church pack up the church band equipment. And yeah, I just always like being around the instruments and just, banging it while we were packing it up. But yeah,
Mm.
got to a point where I actually started playing drums for the
Oh,
church for the year, probably like 15 or something. And then I think where it started, and that's where I got the name Snare from
okay. I was
Snare.
gonna say. I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
it was pretty much straightforward. And
Mm.
around high school was where I started actually writing and started being into hip hop.
Yeah. So with that in high school, then like if you're writing, like where's the inspiration coming from? Is it like everyday stories or everyday like chats with the boys, with the friends, like, or is it things that you're seeing on TV? Like, where are you getting inspired to write as a high schooler at that time?
I think high school is hardly hard out American influence, just trying to copy them and or they're just being a little kota. um, yeah, and trying to dress up like Easy E and listening to all his music. But yeah, I was all the boys at school. They used to jam a hardcore gangster rap and all that, and I just started yeah, finding inspiration through those kind of music. But then also coming home, listening to a whole different music, and
Yeah.
then of like yeah, balanced out together of the way I'm
Yeah.
rapping now.
Yeah, like cuz I mean, I think what really caught my attention, like I remember coming across your music through Anonymous, through Feimu, and then I was just like, "Oh, wait, this is cool as like you're rapping in Samoan." I mean, of course I've heard other people rap in Samoan, but it was just I was just like, "Hey, wait, where did this guy come from and what?" Like it was bro, it was smooth. And my thing is like, when did you know that it was cool to rap in Samoan, to rap in our language? Like, what was that moment that you were like, "Oh, nah, I'm doing it my way"? Like,
Yeah, that's a really good question because I don't even know, and
mm,
it just came freely how that happened. Yeah, that's a really buzzy question because at the start I never thought I'll be rapping like this. I'm still shocked myself that I get to write like this, but I was just thinking that like this is how I normally talk with my friends, and like this is how we always just cut in and out of we're not really good in Samoan, and when we speak English, it's always been like that. Kind of even replying to our parents and stuff, it's always half half, like
mm,
how we talk and stuff. If we don't know how to say a Samoan, we're talking English. The words we do know well. So when I think it was late. It came late, like real late. How I just figured out that man, I'm pretty quite actually good at writing like this. So when I think 2015, 14, I started just thinking, man, I should just stick to what I what I know and what I can do best. And um, yeah, that was that's a very good question because that shocked myself, and then I just stuck with it ever since. Like
mm,
I just started actually focusing on writing like that and not forcing myself to um, write Samoan or write in English. I just let it flow, and it also gave me options of how a bigger option of writing. Because
mm.
I can think like this or write like that, and but yeah,
Wordplay and all those like things like that. But then, and when you're writing in two languages, like, does it make it that much harder, or is it just like you said, you just let it flow naturally? It comes naturally to you. Do you have
yeah,
to like try a little bit harder? All those entendres and all the, all that, all that stuff. Like, I don't know what, like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You put a little effort in that if you really think because English is pretty straightforward. That's my opinion. But the Samoan language, man, that's William Shakespeare. Like it's like real, it's real buzzy how you can look at it. And I think I started off just um, writing or using the slangs, like my
Mm,
uncles will say, or like there's a certain phase in Samoa where there's a certain phase where they go through certain slangs, where this word is, that's the word that everyone's saying kind of thing.
mm,
And like when family and stuff come around or something, or cousins and stuff, like they'll say that word and it's like, oh, that's the word everyone's saying. Like, probably like, yeah, I don't know what's an example,
mm,
but yeah, I just always picked up on that and it's always stuck in my head. And whenever I write, it'll just come naturally like that. But yeah, start off with slangs, then you just start looking into it. But yeah, it's mostly the basics. Like
mm,
I'm not really good at Samoan, but I can hold a conversation
mm,
and that's the good thing as well. Be able to speak to my elders and
mm.
understand our family when they talk and stuff like that. But now I'm using to benefit my music.
Yeah,
My,
it's interesting that you say that when you mentioned, "Oh, I'm not really good at Samoan." That's just not the impression I get from listening to your music. And I know that, like I get it, like how you're saying, it's the slang. It's that. Well, someone wrote it in an article, like diasporic urban language. That's how they describe like what you use in your lyricism. But I was just like, when I hear your music, I would never think um that you weren't good at Samoan. Like that's a thing. And I guess growing up in your home, like were you hearing our language all the time? Obviously through church, you probably would have heard it a lot there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, started off with church. I knew at a young age, Sunday school, when they used to teach the Samoan language, there was something about, I don't know if it was the free school bag and lunchbox you were gonna win if you come first, but there was just something about just I was really like, as a young kid I could just remember vividly that I was just really listening, like I was really like like,
Yeah.
I was into it, but
Mm,
just thinking about it now, that's pretty buzzy because um yeah, for me being a New Zealand born at that age and being into it, like yeah, it's really helped me. And then coming home, my parents weren't strict on us speaking Samoan and stuff, but just me thinking, out of respect, I have to learn to communicate better with my parents. But it was kind of buzzy too because I kind of wanted to speak English more to them so they can learn to speak
mm,
English. But I chose the route of, now I'll learn Samoan to make it easier for them.
mm,
Yeah, it was, I think, through church and then family. And I
mm,
got a big family and having all the cousins, uncles, everything, like, and being around it, then choosing your friends too that kind of have similar, because I'll come across friends that weren't good at someone, then I'll have friends that were really like, like really good at speaking it. And then I've always kind of like try to balance out, like when how do I speak with this guy and then how do
mm,
speak with this guy. But at the same time, I'm learning from the one that can speak more and I'm teaching the
mm,
one that can speak less. But yeah, all kind of connected in some way with the
mm.
music I'm writing.
What about culture? Like, what about like Samoa, like learning, about our culture, like anganu'u and things like that? Was that also through church, or was that just through your community? And were you seeing those things or hearing, like when you hear the matai when they come over and they're having those conversations? Were you hearing that? So you were getting that like feel of like, the homeland, this is the Mate system. This is who should speak. This is who shouldn't speak. This is know when to speak. Were you seeing that
as a youngster growing up?
Yep. That was always around our families,
Mm,
and you have big family meetings.
mm,
They all gather, and you're always wondering, what is this for, and who's that? Before the F word, before you knew the F word, before you knew what the Palavilavi was and stuff like that. Like, you kind of um, just see it, and I didn't really know how it works and stuff like that. I'm still learning now, but um, yeah, it's always an interest to know exactly how it happens, but just for my information, just to understand it better. So when someone
mm,
stands speak, you know the role everyone plays, and even to this day, I ask my old man something will be at a family stuff or something, come back, then I ask him the question, say, so was that blah blah blah, just blah
mm,
blah blah. So can he blah blah blah? But
mm,
so it's just for my information, for just to know, and yeah. So a lot of that stuff was around us growing up, and I'm always asking my old man for just for how it's done. He knows I don't want to get too deep in it, but
mm, mm,
I just need to know, like, things such as bloodlines and
mm,
uh, aspect of the cultural tradition and stuff like
mm.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, were you guys grew up in that kind of?
Yeah, we grew up in that. Like my dad, um, he taught my brothers, you know, all that, just any like related to like the fulla fulla, me a, all of that stuff. Like my dad was well versed in that, and he taught my brothers that, so that at church stuff they could do it. Um, my auntie, my dad's elder sister, we all went through those growlings, doing the earkonga, like all of that, gai
Yeah,
the sua, all of that. Like, yes, we learned about it in church. Actually, church is that is the, not the playground, but church is the stage that you practice at home, you're taught, but the church environment, that's the stage where where you show what you've learned. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? So everything from, like they can see that you know how to do owls, um, how you carry yourself, like all of that, all of that we learn, and then the church is where you show that. Um, yeah, like we definitely grew up with that. Like I've said on here, like before that, my parents, they we spoke Samoan in the home, and then English was for school.
yeah,
Um, so I think at the time I kind of really questioned. I was really like, "Ah, this is really confusing," because I'll go to school and then I'm thinking in two languages. So because I'm thinking in two languages, I'm not necessarily responding to the teacher. A lot of the time, I'm just curious, like, why the teacher's saying this thing, like the whole language piece. And then of course you come home and then it's that safe space where you're just hearing someone. It's like at the time I was like, this is so strange. Why do we have to speak this here and then that there? But now I'm so grateful to my parents. I didn't understand it at the time.
yeah.
Um,
Full
but like,
circle.
yeah, bro, for real. And then just even, and I'm sure that, like you were saying, your parents, there was not pressure, but you're still learning. You're always hearing, like, when there's Fa'alawe love is when the, the family come around, you're always hearing the language. And I so now appreciate all of that. Of course, we never like the growlings and the koso the kalinga, pinching our legs. All of that stuff. But now it's like there's always a reason for everything, and I just I'm so grateful, and I understand too that because we grew up in the church, we share that story. We grew up in a church. We were able to get exposure to that, but we also understand that not all of our people, especially living in the diaspora, living outside of Samoa, a lot of I have friends who didn't have that experience. So I
Yeah,
am grateful, but I'm also aware that that's not everyone's story. But
yeah,
It's yeah,
Yeah. I was kind of like that. I was kind of like that kid, the son that was like the family will have all the family stuff, but I won't go.
ah,
And then I'll see my cousins and be like, I'll ask them questions about first time. So I mean,
mm,
like, so yeah, I try to and try to go and
mm.
see the family because that is very important. Eh?
Oh yeah, hard out, hard out. I was just wondering then, like, um, I mean, music, when you were writing in high school, you started to writing stories, like making music. Was that at that time, you're looking to the future, thinking about what you want to do when you leave school? Was it a reality? Was it a realistic dream for you that you were like, this is kind of a pathway that I want to pursue? Or were there other things that you wanted to do that weren't really related to music?
Um, the arts was always there.
Mm,
I remember then a lot of at the end of school I was doing a lot of performing arts, music and art. So I like the I love drawing and also doing so after school we are doing me and my friends, a couple of usos, we done our performing arts course. But I thought back of my mind I was thinking, this will be kind of like a way towards the music. It was always the music, but it was either something in the arts that will help
mm,
me. But yeah, the music was always there. I just kind of um, really didn't take it serious when we were doing the performing arts course. Just fell off a bit and
mm,
really focused on trying to get back on track. So a few years later, I started seeing Anonymous doing workshops around the community.
mm,
That's where I actually went and participated and hooked up with Matt there, and finally I had all this kind of stuff in my mind and these books, and then when I was able to link up with Matt, we kind of just recorded some of the songs from with him.
man, that's so awesome. I mean, that is just shout out to Anonymous, like shout out to Famu, amazing, inspirational. Um, I mean, wow, not everyone can tell the story that they worked with Anonymous. Like, I'm just like,
Yeah, I
like,
always think to myself over that because man, he's a beast, man. He's a legend. Like
hmm.
real good at what he does.
you know when you're writing, like, okay, so I want to talk about your style of like rapping, and I know you've kind of mentioned a little bit about the and doing bilingual Samoan and English, but how would you describe your style of rapping, your lyricism? Like, is there a word to describe it? How would you describe it?
Yeah, I don't know. We talk on Matt about that quite a lot.
Hmm,
We still don't know what lane we're
hmm,
we still don't know what kind of genre this kind of music is. I know there's a lot doing the same thing, but I don't know,
hmm,
for some reason we feel like our one's just a little bit different how we do our music. It's like I'm being bilingual, but the producer's being
hmm,
bilingual of how he making his beats as well. So it's kind of both ways. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't.
hmm.
What do you think? What do you think we should call
Well,
it?
I don't. Well, it's interesting that you said that. I've always been curious about it, but when you say that there are other people doing what you're doing, I don't. I still think that your style is different. What it's called, I don't know, and that's why I was interested to bring you on the show. When I first noticed your work through what collaboration with Anonymous, I was just like, I know other people can rap in Samoan too, and they have but I still think yours is your style, uh, delivery is just a little bit different. Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I'll be listening out and looking out for when I don't even think you need to have a specific term to describe it. I was just wondering, yeah, how you kind of like looked at it as an artist. But I guess since we can't quite put a name to it, are there artists out there like rappers? I know you talked about Eazy-E back when we started the podcast, but were there rappers that you were trying to emulate their delivery and their style of rapping growing, like as you were coming up and kind of like honing your craft and artistry? I don't know.
Yeah, I think I started off of listening to West Coast hip hop
Okay.
and having that kind of voice and flow that they had, NWA and stuff like that. But then, no, it was a mix of that and then Master Sony and Mr. T. But, yeah, it's funny because when we go to the booth and the studio, because it changes too, various times it changes to like try have a Kendrick flow here or there.
Oh.
I'll try have like no, I'll be in the booth and then I'll tell Matt to play a beat. I'll be like, "What do you want, Matt? Who do you want today? Who do you want today?"
Oi.
And we just joke around with each other. It was like, "You want Celine Dion? You want Celine Dion's voice today, or
Ah.
you want Nas's flow, or like?" So we kind of just yeah, we kind of, but it's good because whatever flow it's gonna be, the words are gonna be way different, styles are different. So we could just play around, and that's the fun thing about it. There's no limits. There's no end to our creation, and that we could just do whatever. We try whatever. If it sounds good, um, we could change this or that. But that's the fun of like if I don't have that fun doing it, then I don't want to be doing it. So
Mhm.
yeah, there's a lot of flows like yeah, Easy, Lil Wayne,
Oh.
Edric, like then you have the Sāmoan kind of Mr. T, Mr. Sony, all the classic hip hop artists.
Mm.
But also funny as well because there'll be some words that I know for a fact the Samoans when pick up. Then there'll be some words that I know only some will pick up that's in New Zealand or in English and stuff. So it's very hard. It's very hard to pinpoint who my audience are
Mm.
because it's like, yeah, probably be like, how I don't know, it's like I'm being sad to those that can't speak Samoan, but I'm never like that. But it's kind of like to the ones that have the good balance of both English and
Mm.
Samoan. I think those are my audience, and I remember performing at Club Royal and a long time ago. It was this folk club out in Minix, and like I could see the look of the some of the folks there. They were like lost,
Well,
and they were
what is this guy going on about?
just see speaking Spanish, stepping in there now. We can't keep up with his conversation, but yeah, it's very interesting the way this my music plays out.
I love it though. I love it. Like it really keeps the audience guessing. And like even when I listen to your track, like even like I have to play it a few times because I'll always catch something the second time, third time around. I'm like, oh, sneaky. Okay, I see. You know what I mean? There's always I listen again. Oh, I didn't catch it the first time. Like I think that's the beauty of it though, right? Like I think that's what gets your fans excited about your music. That's what gets people to like listen to it, is that there's always that surprise element. And like I was wondering, like, like, are you that kind of person? You mentioned, when a beat plays, like, can you freestyle? I know there's like rappers that they're so good with delivery and stuff, don't really freestyle, but then there are others who are just like cipher is the life. Like, do you know what I mean? Are you that person? Yeah, are
Uh,
you that person who just hears a beat and you're like, oh, you just freestyle, or that's not you? Because it's different. It's different for everyone.
yeah. No, I'll probably not very good at freestyling. I'll
Mm,
probably just take the beat and marinate it and
right.
write. I'll focus on it because the end of the day for me, it is hard trying to mix the words up.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so it's always a challenge, but I love it. But yeah, as for trying to freestyle, it's kind of not what
You
I'm
were
good.
never doing ciphers in the street or something like down at the
Yeah,
community center.
it was funny because there was a lot of people doing that at school,
Yeah,
and I kind of was in there but not in there at the same
yeah.
time. But then they'll be like suffering hard out and like everyone knows who was who and stuff. And then there'll be a talent quiz and then boom, whoa, Sully, this
Guy,
I'll be like on the stage and I'll be like,
you're like, hey, what the?
oh, okay, man, just he was just eating his chips, just watching us rap and the figure guys on the stage. But yeah, it was that low key kickback kind of artist. But yeah,
Mm,
I don't really. That's why I kind of don't call myself a rapper. I just call
mm.
myself just a Pacific musician. So
I was wondering about your type of storytelling. Is it's all about experiences that I've had, or there are several characters in the songs that I make and they speak through these, they are delivering, perspectives
yeah, yeah.
in that way. Like, what's your type of storytelling like?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for the question. It's a bit of both. Uh, a lot of it has to do does do with experience. I think writing and making music on your experiences hit better. It's because you're feeling what you're writing. For example, when I wrote that when I was writing on Vodka and Vanya,
Mm,
one of the first tracks I done with Matt. Oh yeah, probably it was the first track I done with Matt. It was that was from experience.
mm,
That was just when I had this trip in Sa and um the vodka I don't know if you know, but a lot of the family in the jungle, we just have nothing to mix our vodka with. It was
mm,
just mix with water, eh?
mm.
The alkies over there, they just mix with water and like for me, man, that shit was yuck, man. That was yuck, man. But when I came back here, I read about it saying that I liked it. Yeah, being the so man, when I was there, like when I was there, we had the whango vodka, whango umonga vodka, and I was they would just give me a one bottle of Coke, and they will mix it with the water. So I was there for a bit. I was there for like probably I don't know 4 or 5 months. I was there. So I had my own cake to mix my in. So it started off like that in the first week or so, and they were mixed with the water. And then the
Mm.
second time I was second time we were just sipping. I'll mix my. I had like the raru, but they called it tang. I was mixing with tang. So I was like, oh, it's no more cake. Guy. We mixing with tang now. Mixing with raru. And they was mixing with water. By the time I was coming back, we were all drinking, mixing with water. I was one of the boys. I was one of the
You
boys. And yeah, like when I came and I wrote that vodka mania, I was like man, I just remember that mix was yuck. No one likes that mix that we fly there, we know about it. Eh? But I came and I wrote that song saying that vodka and water was nice, eh? But it was only because it was nice because I missed the family that I was with drinking the yuck. So, so coming here, ripping there, and just saying, "Oh man, it was never about what we were drinking. It
yeah.
was just about my uncles and my cousins and just being around them. So
Mm.
that the yuck taste went away just thinking about that. So vodka and mania, the experience, as your question, no fishy thing. That's one of the experiences through that track and yeah, a lot of the songs are but both, but yeah, mainly experiences.
Mm. I was wondering if you can talk about that song "Slow It Down," and like the MV is very interesting. The video, and there's just like the constant. It shows the loan shop, like um the end of the song, there's this like written part at the end. Do the mahi, get the treats. When you get the treats, go pay the other treats you loaned. Once you finish paying these treats off, then try not to loan any more treats. So when you do your next mahi, all those treats are yours. Can I just say that video looked like it was very fun to film? I mean, everyone
Yeah,
looked like they were having a blast. I have so many questions. Everyone looked happy, but the message, the message of that song is, while the MV, it was kind of like fun and everything, but the message was very strong, very powerful, very explicit, might I say, like very clear is what I mean. And tell us about that song, like as you speak of experiences, like, yeah, tell us about Slow It Down.
yeah. Thanks for the question. That was a uh, slowed down part of the Seki EP. That
Mm,
was a good track. The writing process, making creating of Met.
mm,
Shout out to Five Star Lemasi Nai original track that we sampled and made the beat. Yeah, that was all to do about just working,
mm,
factory jobs and stuff like that, going through
mm,
agencies. Tough time. I think that was the experience as well. Like I was
mm,
saying earlier, how went from high school to a performing arts course, and I kind of fell off the wagon there, and yeah, that was
mm,
kind of yeah, speaking about just going to school, and you hear it all. You hear it all right before you go to school, and it just goes you
mm,
just do the opposite of what your parents are saying. But yeah, you find out at the end of what they mean and how important all the information was. So that song was about that,
mm,
Kupulanga, mainly the Kupulanga. That's trying to we're living we're living in a fast life now, in a fast world where so us trying to keep up or go even faster. That's really very hard for us teenagers to try and stay on track and focus on what our goals are,
mm,
and end up doing something you don't like in life. So that was what Slow It Down was, and yeah, it was good to have the boys come through and shot that at my old job where I was working and used the back canopy warehouse area and grabbed a couple of those sorts to come through with their. I told them to, hey, just come in what you guys wear every day to work, and they're like, oh yeah, man, I'm just finishing work right now on my
yeah.
way. Come in your overall, whatever your high vis, whatever. We'll just meet up at the spot and we'll shoot in
Mm,
your because those are your battle gears. These are wearing these are
mm,
battle gears we're wearing every day. So that was the songs about hard mahi and just yeah working in a factory and just thinking
mm,
about all your your life growing up. Because us, we were brought up in strict families. We were brought up
mm,
in strict families. But I'm just going a little bit off here, but it's still
mm,
just through high school. I just always thought about how if we all say that we were like we were all strict from our parents and stuff, and we went to school and like we were just hula vale at school and stuff and follow God and stuff. You know how like there's a handful of us that were like the good. We call them out. There's the scholars, but we were always just. I don't know what it was about us polys or Pacific people. Not everyone, but majority. Like just we were just never um focused at school, eh? And then we come across the Inkias and singers. They had strict parents. And then they didn't go to school. So when we see the singers and kids, where were they? They were always in the front of our classrooms. Where was
mm,
us? Yeah, we were always the one that had the report saying, "Oh, Jerry's a bit of a he's easily distracted." Jerry's easily distracted, yeah, the singer. I was just think like, man, the singers and NQs, they had strict parents, but they come school, they listen. But us as the Pacific, we have strict parents. We come to school and we're like, but then it always reflects on how we were like how we were too strict that we were coming to anything out of the house was freedom for us.
Mm.
The other kids, and then we abused that freedom, kind of like we're swearing and stuff,
Mm.
all this stuff. But then like,
Double
yeah,
life at school, life at home.
and then we go we hear kids that say we don't like school, but we're like, man, we love school, man. I mean, around school people love it. I was like just thinking like that, but then it also fell on the like it's sad, but it's kind of true. And these are just all my thoughts and opinion. It's just that like I said, the Inkia and single parents they were strict on their kids, but they were present.
Mm.
Uh, as for us, we were strict, but we always went home. But like our families and parents haven't finished work yet. Like they weren't, and then it was kind of like, but it's not their fault, kind of thing. So
Mm.
it was a very tough upbringing to explain how we abused our parents' love in that kind of way. But they had a role as well. Like it almost falls into how I went to the also moves the lecture.
Yes.
Yeah, a
Tell us
couple
your
of
reaction on that, bro.
it's almost what I'm trying to explain, like the same thing, eh? Like it's almost like you're being there but not being there. But the way he shot that video and how he wrote that song, it's kind of it's the same. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. All of us are kind of going through. So yeah, that's I caught up with Laniello with the too. Good catch up with Mauso, man. Shout out to Mauso Lani.
Yeah.
He's one guy. Anytime I see, is always love, man.
I mean, yeah, he sent me I was on the train coming home and he sent me the video. He goes, go watch this, go watch this. He had just left, he was going back to work, just left the launch. And honestly, I was on the train, like, tell me like why I was trying not to gangi on the train. Like the video, you know what it is? That song is like of the video, the visual just adds that extra punch.
Yeah,
But there are lines in that song, and I agree with what you're saying. You know how you're like, I'm trying to explain it, but the lecture probably is what you're trying to explain, like
yeah,
that
yeah,
story, because there are lines in there to do with church, to do with the culture, to do like if it doesn't hit you, I mean it hits you right here, right
yeah,
in the fatu, it's it's so hard to explain, but even if you didn't grow up in that environment which is portrayed in that MV for the lecture, but there are just lines in the song that just will resonate with you. And it was the lines, there's the lines about church, giving everything to church, the focus on that and not, I mean, those things when we think about, just the sacrifices that our parents make, decision making. I mean, not blaming or I feel like it's a very complex issue because they come from Samoa, they settle here, they're trying to build and grow the ainga.
yeah,
Then the extended family come. I'm not making excuses, but what I'm saying is there's so many layers to
yeah.
that
That's
story that was being told in the lecture. And I was on the train trying not to kangi. Shout out to the movement. Shout out to Move.
yeah,
Such a powerful, powerful song, and the visual just like nails it. But there's just I mean, I just keep listening to it over and over as I was watching the video, and I was just like, man, there is a line in that song that will hit everyone because even if you grew up in even the most perfect home and your parents were always present and
yeah,
whatnot, there is still going to be something in there. And I think part of it is really because we have grown up in the diaspora. Like I feel like, you know, growing up in the diaspora, we were trying to, our parents, they're trying to maintain those connections to our homeland. They come here, they join the community, like they join a local, they, you know, they go to church, and the churches are trying to like continue that. Like these are the things we do in Samoa, we will continue it here in New Zealand as we build as the communities of churches have grown here, regardless of whether it's Mekokisi, AOG, or Ifakasa. But bro, it's just like, I tell you, I was just like, I need to get off the train. I'm about to gangi right here. Like, like it's just so raw, but it's also messages that we need to hear. Like, not just parents, but us. Like,
Yeah,
bro,
that's too good, man. That was so powerful. The black and white was everything
yes.
for me.
Mm, yeah, it's just I mean, I wanted to ask you, just I was thinking about your debut EP Seki
Yeah,
that came out a few years ago, and in terms of you as a writer, as an artist, um as a thinker, like how since that debut EP, like how have you seen yourself evolve, like in terms of your craft? Like have you you know, have there been some big changes in terms of your creative process, or you know, because the world has changed
yeah,
since
yeah.
you know, a
Um,
lot has happened
a lot.
since you
Yeah,
dropped that EP, so that debut. So yeah, well, where are you at in terms of your mindset? Like what have you seen grow, or perhaps you've kind of like, oh nah, I'm cutting that, I didn't need this in my creative process. Like how have you changed, or are still growing, I guess?
yeah. No, yeah. I'm still growing. It's always good to be keep on writing, stay consistent, and
Mm,
I think trying to find inspiration from both sides is challenging and at times, but yeah, like you said, things have changed. You know, we went through COVID, and I got a family, and trying to balance everything out. But yeah, nah, we've done a few tracks that it's all in the vault. We just need to tidy them up and start releasing them. And we've been shooting some videos, but we're just waiting for the right time to finish them all off.
oh,
Hopefully, I get to work off Lani too. He's one of the guys on my list that I
oh yay.
connect with my
Yeah.
man. He's the man.
Yeah, you know, he respects, like, I mean, you Anonymous, of course, Move, like he has so much love and respect for you guys, and the mahi that you do. Um, you know, just as Pacifica men, as Samoans, as brothers, you know, to him, but also just as artists, you know, just mad love and respect for the artists that you all are. So I'm excited. You know, when people say it's in the vault, I'm like, oh, that means it's gonna be good. That means, oh, we're just waiting for the right time. Okay, we see you, bro. I hear you. I hear you. And you know, we can't talk and not talk about Lei Sepanga. You know, as mentioned earlier, this dropped December 2023. I have before we talk about the song, I want to ask about the artwork, because you did the cover artwork. What's the symbol? I mean, can you explain like the cover artwork
Yeah,
for yeah, and yeah, because then you mentioned you love to draw and you're good at art. I was
yeah, yeah. I was just playing around with some of these art apps and created that picture.
like,
Um, I had a mask on because the song was the song itself was it was a long process. That was one of the
mm,
songs on the vote. It was obviously it was before COVID. Like that's how long
wow.
it's just before COVID. But after COVID, we started shooting the video, and that's hence the mask that I'm wearing.
Mm,
That like yeah, it was this song was was
mm,
before the from COVID.
mm,
The crown was just to represent just like to my side ego and call myself King Kimpa. as
Okay.
a name. But the Kimba comes from Kimpalau.
Ah,
So just have a little nickname. Just trying to spark and have a little kamai fan, bro.
just a little. Hey, no judgments here.
Spicy, eh? Yeah, when I seen met seen met about six cover up and just told him to which one you think we'll both agree on as the cover art photo, and yeah, we both agreed on that one. So
Mm,
I don't really like to show my face a lot and stuff like
mm,
that.
mm.
But it was like I think I don't really like to. I want to be like Daft Punk and
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
gorillas where they're just a cartoon. No one
yeah,
knows
yeah,
who.
yeah.
I just want to be like that, and it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard being a Samoan, but being an artist as well, and especially
Mm,
in this hip hop genre, you gotta be like, you gotta be under he ha and all that.
yeah,
But in the Samoan way, I'm always humble and always um, not shy, but like just real kickback and don't really wanna be out there or look at me and stuff like that. But it comes with being a hip hop artist, I guess. So we try and narrow it down and find our right lane to go on and stick with it.
I think it's cool. You got your own way and style of doing things. Going back to what we were saying earlier, really can't even nail it down to like a specific term that kind of describes what you do, or your type of music or lyricism. But I think that's the cool thing. Like, I think we live in a day and age um, where there's that gimmick. People got to be like all in your face and everything because it's a hip hop genre, but it doesn't need to be that way. And I think it's super dope that you're like real chill and kick back about that. Like, I think it's okay to do. You're just in your own lane. You're doing what you love, and I think that people respect and see that mahi. Like, you don't need to be like all like tooting your horn, like, because it comes through in the music. Do you know what I mean? It comes through in the words that you speak. I mean, bro, if I had an audience button right
Right.
now, which I need to invest in, I
Yeah.
like,
That's the music. Like even when people respond to, I guess, some real buzzy ass responses and love from certain people, and
mm,
man, that plays a part too. So it kind of says that I do have some decent fans there, and some people that kind of look out for this kind of that like the style, know exactly what I'm saying. So,
yes.
yeah, it helps with being inspired to keep going, I guess.
Yes, that is what's up, fam. If you are watching right now on YouTube, if you are listening through Spotify or Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, uh, click the links in the bio, connect with Snare. If you are sitting there like, who is this guy? Well, you know what? You don't even know. Click the bio links, connect online through social media, check out his music, go on YouTube, check out his YouTube channel, have a look at the MVs. Seriously, look at what the visuals that he has been putting out there with the bro Anonymous. Like, you're missing out if you don't know who Snare is up to this point. Now you know. Go check out. Now you know. Check the links in the bio, fam. I wanted to so when I was looking up trying to figure out, okay, Le Sepanga, I'd seen it on Instagram and the little write up about that, and then it was on, I think, newzealandmusic.org, and it says the inaugural release. Oh, it's produced by Anonymous. The inaugural release from Snare and Anonymous's new upcoming body of work, The Emperor's New Lae. Okay, I got so excited. Le Sepanga translate to no partner, no match in Samoan, with the track showcasing Snare's bilingual lyrical prowess, exploring the challenges and pitfalls of bad habits, redemption, and the invaluable lessons learned along the way. So I read that, was listening when it came out, and I was like, okay. But The Emperor's New Lae, I mean, I don't know if you could talk. Okay, I guess that's what's in the boat, huh? Wink, wink.
That's in the world, man.
It's in the vote. It's in the vote, fam. You heard it here. You heard it here. Okay, maybe not first, but you heard it here on the Reads of Rosa
I
podcast.
think first. I think first.
Oh, we heard it here first. Oh my gosh, we love these little exclusives that these amazing, inspirational artists, they come on the show and they drop. I mean, I cannot hold my excitement. But bro, I mean, it turned out as you wanted, yeah. Like, you know, you've gotten a lot of great responses. The MV is pretty dope. I mean, did it turn out how you wanted it? Like that was kind of what you and Anonymous visualized and envisioned for the project, or
It was the track was a long process for a reason.
Mm,
For a reason, because like I said, I went through COVID and stuff.
mm, mm,
So by the time after COVID, the song sounded totally different.
mm,
Like it just had so many phases. But yeah, overall, we all agreed on the final cut, and we were all happy with it. I was happy with it. But yeah, it just went through a through stages where it just changes sounds, and the video changed, and yeah, we had a few hiccups with the video, but
mm,
it's all part of the journey, I guess.
mm,
Because you get to a point where if you're listening to a song so many times, but like you got to think about or certain different version of the track so many times,
mm.
like it's only you listening to it, so you kind of get sick of it, but you don't know that it's only you listening to it. So
Right.
no one has heard that version, but you're like, man, nah, we need to change it. But sometimes that first version was the best version, but you've heard it so many times, you've changed it to a point where it sounds completely different. And kind of yeah, these are all the stuff that comes with being a musician that I'm also still learning and growing to get used to. And yeah, overall the song um, came out how it did, and we were happy with it.
Mm. You know, you were also featured. You were one of the featured artists on Mana Moana 2023 COP28. They taking pictures of us in the water. Poetry by Audrey Brown Pereira. Shout out to Audrey. Uh, Audrey was on the. She's part of the Reads of Rosa podcast family as well. So she was on the show, and
Nice.
she messaged me. Right, you guys were putting the video and stuff together. She messages me. She's like, "Oh, I didn't know that you knew Anonymous and Rizvan." I was like, "Oh, yep." She's like, "I didn't know they were on your show." I was like, "Yeah, they're also part of the Rita Rosa podcast family." But it was cool. Like I think for me, what I love is when all of you amazing, inspirational folks, you share your story on here, and I love seeing you all out there just sharing your craft and your art. Uh, in the community, collaborating and all that. I mean, that kind of stuff is exciting for me. Like when she said that, she's like, I just didn't know. I was like, you're working with some amazing folks. You were part of this project, bro. So can you tell us, yeah, like you were called in to be part of this. There were just so many different people bringing their art and craft, their expertise, skills to this project. Like, tell us about that experience.
Yeah, it was great. Shout out to Audrey and Anonymous Family.
Mm,
Um, being part of it, we didn't think we were thinking lightly of it. Like, didn't know how
mm,
important the message was, And Matt, we all had to sit down and catching up with Matt, because honestly, we would go down the street. We're not gonna talk with someone about climate change,
mm,
especially us Pacifica people. We then it's not really our topic, but it's just actually happening. Every day it's happening, and yeah, Matt gave us a little wake up call, and we were
mm,
able to help him on that project, and be a part of it. But yeah, it was a good experience. Good to be aware of these kind of things,
mm,
and be able to share it and tell your families, and it's actually happening. And then a couple of weeks later, we see the same thing we're representing on the news. So it's like
Mm,
we're able to play our part as the Pacific and send them our message, and it was a great experience to know all that information and what's been happening behind the scenes that should be in front of everyone's screens.
mm. Yeah, I mean the work that you guys did, just everyone that was involved. Of course, again, shout out to Anonymous, Feimu, to Audrey. I mean, like you said, this is people need to know, and I think the way that that project came together definitely would have reached people that normally wouldn't kind of like tune in to these messages about climate change. We see the climate justice warriors, our Pacifica folks who are out there, really pushing for change in the Pacific, raising awareness about climate change and the effects on our own islands. So it was such a powerful message. I was so stoked to just see how it was received from so many people. If
Mm.
you're watching or listening, click the link in the bio. Um, you'll be able to watch the video. Watch the video. You can share it, connect with these artists. There's a whole website of people, well-known folks, everyday
Shout
people
out
who are just
Riz,
out there
Uncle
doing.
Riz, shout out Moso Sāmoan, shout out
Yes.
FOS, shout out everyone that came through and supported the
Mm.
shoot.
So yeah, big congratulations to all of you that participated in that, and just an important message, important messages, important visual messages that really just hit home, and I'm glad
Yeah,
that you were part of. I was really happy to see that you were part of that,
yeah.
bro.
It was me and everyone brought their A game and
Mm,
put their own style to the song. And it's cool
mm,
how all had a clear vision. He had a real busy week on the week of the shoot, but
mm,
if you have a vision and you execute it, he had a dope vision of how he wanted it to shoot, and had the Sivafi girls, shout out Luisa,
mm.
Helen, bringing up the girls over to do that, and yeah, what was I gonna say? I'm having one of these Rosa moments now.
Okay. You take your time, bro, and when you're ready to jump back in, you jump back in,
Oh
bro.
yeah, I was just thinking about how Matt had the whole video locked in, and yeah, like you said, putting it in the hip hop track, but
Mm,
about touchy subjects like that. It's just like me, how he done that with lecture,
mm,
Matt done this with climate change, and
mm,
made a hip for everyone, especially the kupulanga and teenagers and everyone to pay attention to it, and had the Toko Riz and Savine, most of Savine come through, and we all made that track, and how Matt flipped it and used it as a to celebrate 50 years of hip hop.
oh, yeah,
Had the spray can and all the four elements.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I
got
mean, if you're listening or watching, you don't know who Anonymous is. I mean, who are you now? Where have you been now? Like, with his name has come up. He's been a huge part of your journey, as a mentor, as a brother. Guiding you. I mean, well, as a fellow artist, and just the work that he does is just like he's always
crazy, eh?
just. I can't even. I can't even explain it. It's just a whole nother level of like. I guess like, radical dreaming where you're just kind of like, what else can we do? How can we visualize a message, but, through so many different lenses, but that one goal at the end? I mean, it's pretty
Yeah,
amazing. I also just, want to say with Audrey, I mean, she's been writing poetry for a long time, and actually we've got writers out there, we have poets, we have authors who have been speaking on climate change for a very long time, and flower. I was glad to see she was able to get her flowers, that her work was, infused in this, as to be able to tell this message. She is also someone who is at the forefront of climate change, raising awareness and going for, trying to get climate justice in the Pacific, in Samoa. So just, seeing everyone that was involved, I mean, just amazing, amazing, amazing. Now, I wanted to ask, outside of music, when you're not creating, when you're not trying to visualize what's coming next in terms of your craft and your artistry, what do you like to do? What are things that you like to do that are perhaps not even connected to music?
I think it's just spend time with my kids.
Mm,
I have a 9-year-old boy, Osami, and
mm,
my 5-year-old girl, Olivia.
mm,
And any time I get, man, that's all on them.
mm.
And yeah, it's the best feeling. It's the best feeling in the world to be doing absolutely nothing with them.
I love that. I mean, do they know who you are? No, I mean, I know. No, sorry, not like that. What I mean is, like, you're their father, your dad, but do they know that you're like? I don't want to say you live another life. That just sounds weird. But do they know that you're like an artist? That you
Uh,
make, you create story. You're a storyteller,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
songwriter. I mean,
Funny because if they know when I'm gonna head out the door or something, so when they see the vest, and then my son's like, "Oh, you're going work."
oh,
And
work,
yeah,
work.
yeah. And then after that, when they see me over like a laptop bag or something, they'll be like, "Oh, are you going to Met? Are you going to Met?" Like, "Oh, you going to work?
Ah,
You going to work?" So it's like, yeah, they have a fair idea, but yeah, it's funny how that comes about. Maybe 60% of the songs that are in the vault, they know the lyrics.
oi.
Me constantly playing it here and trying to tweak here and there, but yeah, they follow the music because I
Your
think
number one fans, the
yeah,
most
my
important
number one
fans.
and the
Oh,
cool thing about my number one fans, no song sucks to them.
oi.
Every song is Daddy, sorry. My daughter's
Oh,
biggest fan, and yeah,
oh,
he's pretty much keeping me going.
that's so cool. See, this is what we want to hear. Like, everyone has a journey, and this is also part of your journey. You're a family man. You're a father first and foremost. So, you know, this is cool, bro. Self-care, like, we talk about self-care on here because many guests that come on, they're so busy, creating and doing the things they love, with their art and their craft and their everyday jobs. But how do you take care of your health, so that you can turn up 200% for your family?
Yeah, that's a very good question because I think you maybe we kind of take this. We don't think how important this is. Like how major impact self care has on on anyone doing
Mm,
anything. That's very important, Even trying to get 8 hours sleep, like man, it's like sleep is important.
mm,
What you eat is important, and yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to balance out at the moment as well. Working different shifts, and then, like I said, trying to find inspiration. Like sometimes you'll be frustrated or tired, or and take weeks to try and write a paragraph,
mm,
and sometimes you could write a whole song in 20 minutes. That's I think it all falls down to self care, and being able to look after yourself right, get your mind right, and everyone around you is right. So yeah, that's one thing I like doing is like just even when I try to take the kids to the park, like,
mm.
yeah, let's go, kids. I'm walking into the park, and they'll be like, yeah, you're walking me to the park, but in my mind, I'm like, nah, nah, you're taking me out for a walk. like now I have to actually walk and take it. So it's like like um, yeah, self care. That's a
Mm.
very good question. Thank you for that.
Um,
I'm
do
working.
you, sorry, go ahead.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But yeah, it's very important. That's what I realized this year too.
Mm. As long as you're working on it, that's all that matters. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, and it's not even like it doesn't have to be like massive changes. It's just like one day at a time, small steps. So there's you're building consistency. Sorry, I say all this because I'm telling myself as I
Yeah.
speak. I'm telling
No,
myself
you're like me.
I'm
Sis.
the
That's
worst.
us. Yes. I'm real bad. That's us. That's us. We all just one day at a time. We try and do something. I've got like 7 alarms, going off to remind me what I need to do and stuff. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was wondering about books. I kind of asked everyone if they have a book recommendation. Do you have a book recommendation, or perhaps even a book that your kids like to read that you want to just kind of like put out there?
Um, I just try to grab my son some comics.
Mm,
I just end up reading it with him, or like
cool.
sometimes I read it just to see if it's bad or or good or not. So yeah, there's Arkham City comic shop out in Onehunga when they have sales. Yeah, try and drive there with my son and just tell him pick. Sometimes I'm just like him, we just go for the hakas, eh? They're like, oh, we just pick it because we like the pictures and we come home and enjoy the pictures instead of reading them. But yeah, nah, no recommendation on any specific book, but
Mm,
I'm trying to do um, some reading as well.
that's
But
awesome,
this
and I love that you can do that. Oi.
book here, I'll probably start reading. Now you've mentioned reading to me, and you've inspired me to read, and my son's
I love
comics here.
that. No, it's
Just
cool how you were sharing that you can do that with your son, like even something which seems real, like it's such a small thing, but those moments, like even if
yeah,
it's just the thing we do, but years from now, that's something that he will remember and
yeah.
then he will get to pass on. It's those little routines and I love it, bro. It's really, really
I
cool to
really,
hear.
really like, yeah. That's exactly it. I think in life now it's all about the small things now, man. It's
Mm.
like those are the small things that create the big, impactful opportunities in life.
Yes, before we're gonna wrap up the show in a bit, but two things. First of all, number one is, what can for fans, for new fans of your work, of your music, what are you looking forward to for the remainder of 2024? Is there something that fans can like look out for? I don't know what's coming up next for you if you can speak on it or yeah.
No, yeah, safe. Yeah, I just really want to bring more content out.
Mm.
Just want I got a lot of music I need to drop, and we're going to do that this year. And hopefully all goes well. We're trying to get our merch out as well. Trying to suss out our merch, but yeah, the whole first half of the year is all about putting out everything we have right now, and just cleaning up the vault, and then maybe second half we'll try and create something new and see where we go from there. But there's a
Okay.
lot of stuff I have. It's like songs I've been writing of like stuff that I don't do anymore. And then stuff, all the stuff, but it has to come out because it all plays a part in part of the story and part of the
Yes.
life of Snare, I guess.
Yes, I like how you put that. Yes, it needs to come out. Everyone, you heard it. He said the things in the vault have to come out. So no, we're not asking for any more than that. But you heard it here, fam. You heard it. So fans, new fans, people who are curious about Snare and his music and the work he's putting out there. Seriously, click the links in the bio. Check him out. You will not be disappointed. You will not. You will not. So we're excited. We're gonna look out for that. The second thing, before we close up, is I always ask this. Well, I ask this when like rappers come on, like when other MCs come on. Top 5 MCs. I don't know if you can do that. No judgments, by the way. Top 5, and sorry, I asked this knowing that you're not just a rapper, like but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Top 5 MCs.
Well, both Sāmoan and
Yeah, man, bro. Yes, absolutely,
that's a hard one.
absolutely.
That's a real hard one. Probably Kendrick, Nas, Method Man,
Oh,
Big Al,
okay.
and Vanya Tolo.
Oh, there we go. We've got some great artists in there, fam. I'm leaving. I'm not even commenting. We do not make judgments here, but I know, those avid fans, you're going to be super curious about that list, so check it out. There was one more thing I want to ask you. If a song or book was written about you, what would it be called?
Oh. Wow. I mean, just the snare.
The Snare. There we go, fam. Memoir is coming out next year. I'm just lying. I'm lying. I'm kidding. A memoir will come out in the future. That's cool, man. The snare. Yes, I love that. And now that we know the origin of your name, your artist name, I mean, fire, bro. Seriously. Okay. I've had you on for a very long time now.
How have you been staying in Japan?
Oh, bro, I'm all good, eh? Like, actually, sorry, rewind. I am not all good right now because it is winter and it is freaking cold.
True.
It is, bro. Like, my island body cannot deal. Every time it hits winter, they're like, oh, here goes Rosa complaining about winter. I'm like, I'm an islander. I live in the sunshine. Nah, bro, it's all good, eh? Like, it's all good, but it's just.
Have you been back home yet?
Yeah, I came home in December. I was last home for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
You know, my mum, because my mum has this thing. She's like, I don't care what you do during the year, but everyone has to be home for Christmas. That's her thing. Yeah. She's like, it doesn't matter what you do, but everyone needs to be home. The only time I didn't come home was when COVID was on and we were not allowed to leave the country. We were like, I couldn't even get into New Zealand at the time. But yeah, so... Nah, it's all good, eh? We're like, this coming week is our last week of school, and then we're on spring break for 10 days. So, I cannot wait. I need to sleep. I just want to sleep. For real,
when
bro.
I came up with Lani, I was like telling him, man, I love your work and the amount of your list of man, because you got a big list of a lot of people, and it ain't come like a man. I was really honored and grateful to be here, and I was just telling him, no, it must be. Is this kind of like your way of connecting back with? I was telling him if this is your kind of way of connecting back with us again, being far away like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I appreciate the support. I always get excited when people are like, they listen or they're aware of the podcast. And like, it is one of the ways, like, to stay connected. And, another part of the podcast is to highlight our writers, our authors, Pacifica authors. Because we need to be writing our own stories. We need to be putting out the narrative, telling our stories, not other people writing our stories. So, because I'm not a writer, that's kind of one of my ways is through the podcast. I've been so just really humbled and lucky to just blessed to have had authors, Pacifica authors, Maori authors come here and share their stories. Awesome. Writers, bro, it's like, so that's a part of what the podcast is about. Another part of it is, I grew up in Ifakasa, like e whakasahar. So of course, you know, part of it is role modeling. Like I've brought people on the show who also grew up in the e whakasa. You know, there's always people who have a bone to pick or a moan about the e whakasa, but by bringing on guests who grew up in the church from birth, I want to show, you know, the young ones coming up that we are e whakasa, and look at what these amazing people are doing out there in their communities, you know, impacting, you know, the young people, impacting youth, impacting our communities directly through the work that they're doing. And then like another part of the podcast is because I'm a teacher. So I've been very fortunate to be able to bring on like educators from just around the world. Not just Pasifika, but BIPOC, you know, Black, Indigenous, people of color as well. So that's also a part of my work is, you know, as a teacher, like I feel like, you know, I'm an advocate for social justice. So, you know, just bringing people on here to share the advocacy work they're doing, whether it's through music, through art, through being a whewhiao, because I've had 2 whewhiaos on here, two best friends who are ministers, you know, young ministers in the e whakasa church, but man, they're really, you know, just doing, just, you know, like everyone, like you've said, there's been this whole list of people. I'm very intentional bringing you on here. I'm very intentional. You're part of that. Like, I just want people to. First of all, I want to give flowers. Everyone that has been here is to highlight their platform, their work, give you your flowers, because for many of you, you've been on the grind. You've been going at it for a number of years, just head down, doing the work, you know, doing the mahi. And I know that many of you are not doing it for, you know, you're not like tooting your horn. You're not, you know, many are just very humble. When I tell you, humble people who are just like love and passionate about what they do. So if this podcast can be a place to highlight all of that, then that's cool. You know, like it's I just want to be able to cultivate and grow the space. I'm really not an expert, bro. When I tell you, I am not an expert, nor do I'm not good at public speaking. I'm very introverted, but it's just been such an honor to just have your guest 130. You'll be episode 130 that we're gonna drop, and like it's 130 episodes, but there have been some episodes which had more than 2 people. So, for example, when I had Rev Martin Mariota, his wife was there. He came with his wife too, you know, because the Faletua, they were partners. When I had Lani and Levy on here, so I had some people from Pacific Islanders in publishing, the 3 of them. So there have been close to 140 people that have actually been through the podcast, and like it's just I can't even tell you, like every person that comes on here, there's a reason, because I believe in your story. Like I don't just bring anyone on here, like I'm inspired. Like people who come on here, I'm inspired by what you do. I've seen something, I've seen your videos, I've seen the work you do with Anonymous, and I'm like, I just want people to see that there's more to your story. Even though today was just sharing pockets of your story, but I still think that is very impactful. Like I feel like people will watch this and be like, damn, I didn't know Snare had that side to him. I didn't know that was the reason he wrote that song. I didn't know he was a father. Wow, I didn't know he did that with us. Like I feel like those are just stories we don't hear about. Sorry, that was a very long answer to what you were talking about. But
I love it, sis. That's
like,
mean.
it just I'm no
I needed to know something about you before I
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Life and what you're doing, and give your flowers too. So you know.
Yeah, so I appreciate it. But yeah, like this whole every now and then I'll ask Lani to like help with the infographics, and you know, if I'm like, because I'm real indecisive and I'm like, I'm not seeing the specific color. Okay, I've got to send the photo to Lani so he can have a look. So every now and then he'll like, you know, help me with the visuals. He's got a good eye for that stuff. So
yeah.
But I'm grateful, man. There's just
he told me in case he doesn't tell you, he's very proud of you. He's like he
Oh,
told me he's very proud of you. He's proud of his sister. And
oh,
so yeah, that was just a couple of days ago when I saw him, and I was like, man, I'm excited to catch up with him. So, yeah,
oh. Yeah, he's excited to hear this podcast because I've been telling him, I was like, when I told him, I was like, I actually reached out to Snare. He was like, yeah, about time. Like, what? He's excited, like, right? And,
you know,
'cause he sees what you're doing.
there's certain people you meet, and it's like, because it's not like I've met him from we go way back or anything. We kind of met, but there's just certain people you just meet, especially in the music industry. There's just certain people you just meet and you just click, you know, like you guys just click. Whether you're talking about like Cas Yellow said it the best, man. Like
Mm.
if I can't sit down and laugh with you about nothing, then it's not gonna work. You know, so like man, Nick, catching up with Lani anytime I see him, I was grateful I met him through Met and doing our music. So it's all love whenever I see any of those guys, man.
Oh.
And I
Well,
learn how to tick off love too now.
oh, sure, brother. I guess we're at the part of the show where um, I just have to say thank you. That there's I think what you're doing is very inspirational. I think it's impactful. I think you're very intentional with the music that you're putting out there. What you're speaking out into the world. I think it's just super important, and I love that you're doing that. Like I think um, you're not like yeah. You said before there are other people doing what you're doing. Yes, but the manner and the style in which you're doing it, how you deliver your stories is just very different. And I just want to encourage you just to keep going. I'm really excited. Keep going. Keep doing the mahi because people see, even if you think people don't see, people see. Your music is resonating with someone. And I think at the end of the day, when you love what you do, when you're passionate about it, that's really what it is, right? If it resonates with one or two people, if it resonates with a group of people, then that's where the fulfillment comes from. And you are role modeling for your own children, as a father, which you are first and foremost. So I love that, bro. I'm excited to see what you and Fayumu are you and Anonymous will be getting out of that vault. I mean, I'm excited, bro. I cannot wait. I just want to encourage you just to keep going and, keep doing you. There's no other Snare out there. Like that's just it. That there is no one out there like you. So, yeah, just
Thank you very
we are
much.
fans and we will continue to support. And I know that from this podcast, this Talanoa, that there will be people who are hearing you for the first time who are going to be curious and who will follow and look up your work. Yeah. So
Oh,
blessings, bro. Lots of alofa coming out to you and your family. And I'll hand it over to you just to, you've dropped many gems throughout our talanoa. So just some final words of wisdom to close off the show. Over to you, brother.
no, thank you, Rosa. Kay kile lava mole avango. Venga, catch up in my ever. Really enjoyed it. Time went really fast, man. Felt like only 10 minutes, but
Oi.
thank you, Rosa. I'm very honored to be here. But yeah, no, same goes for you. You know, us two just that's our saying now. One day at a time, my guy. What? We just keep going, and yeah. I think any advice for anyone is just stick to your plan. Set goals, and I know everyone says that, but yeah, set small goals. Just set
Mm,
small goals and try and tick them off. Keep ticking away. Thank you, Rosa. Shout out to Maso Fayumu and the team, and I hope we get this workout done this year, and we can do some good things.